Y'all, this is the first batch of African Haitian deportees sent back to Haiti after the TPS ended, after the U.S. Ended the TPS program for them. This flight arrived there Thursday. This is in the northern region of Camp Haitian, and I want to say it's about 160 plus of them. Upon arrival, they received $65 and some food from the Haitian officials over there. Now, I don't know if they took the 2600 and self deport or if they were, apprehended and then deported. But yeah, 160 of them. The Trump administration is acting swiftly on this TPS status program ending for them because, like I stated, this was Thursday. Look how swift the Trump administration is acting on these TPS programs ending for these groups. Um, yeah, Northern Cap Haitian and their officials gave them $65. Now I don't know if that's in USD or if that's in the currency they use. I don't know what currency they use, but yeah, Trump administration acting swiftly, y'all.
Well, looks like TPS is up. Thank you, President Trump. This is what I voted for. This is what I voted for. Thank you, President Trump. This is what I voted for. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The first flight has just landed since TPS ended. This is good news to my ears. Thank you, President Trump. I want to give a shout out to ICE. I want to give a shout out to the FBA community. I want to give a shout out to President Trump once again. We are bringing our country back. We're getting all of these illegals out of our country. We're getting all of them out. You should have took the $2,600. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much.
I'm fine with immigration, legal immigration, but I digress. But since we have a crisis on our hand, I believe that the border should be closed to anybody wanting to come in for the next 15, 20 years, that part. But I do have a message for you temporary status, Haitians, Syrians, Somalians, whomever. Well, time is up. Some of you guys have been here 5, 10, 15, even 20 years under TPS. So you're telling me in all that time you didn't make any stride to become an American citizen, constantly getting extensions to do what? Nothing. To have children inside of the United States of America, them becoming citizens, but you're not a citizen. Why didn't you make any stride to become a citizen? Now you have these white liberals and these fake news false prophets out there stating that they're coming against black people. No, they're not coming against foundational black Americans because you see, I was born here. That part. So they're not deporting me. I'm not worried about being ushered out of the country, okay? And this thing about Haitians built America, you are a liar and the truth is not in you. But then again, you're going to have your woke blacks on the left that's just going to run with the narrative. If you are Haitian American and you were naturalized and are born here, welcome to the country. This is your home. But if you were not born here and you were under TPS, it's time to get the going, baby. You should have did what you were supposed to do when you had all that time to do it. Listen, nobody wants you unalive when you go back to your country. Definitely don't want that. But what were you doing when you were here with all that temporary protective status in all these years? You did not build America. Okay, and I'm sick and tired of people saying things that are not true. Settlers and slaves built America. My ancestors built America, not yours. That's why I can't wait for the Supreme Court to make a decision on birthright citizenship, because some of y'all are benefiting off the backs of people that were not even your ancestors. And some of you stupid black people out there rallying for them, and you're just dumb. If you are working towards citizenship, I don't care if you stay, because I think that's commendable. You're doing what's right. But if you're here and you're not and you don't plan to, bye, Felicia. And you liberals quit putting us all in the same box. We are not the same. But 5, 10, 15, 20 years of temporary protective status? I think not. That's mean. No, what's mean is them people out there that say they're going to enter into every household in America. That's mean. And they got to go too, that part. And Mandani say he's standing 10 toes down with the Haitians. You know why? If they support him now, it'll be easier for them to bow to Islam later. Peep the game, that part.
Credits to original creators of the clips used in this video.
She's a prime example of why y'all need to be angry at the system and not just the president, because TPS is temporary protected status, temporary. If your country is going through some type of war, some type of crisis, this is temporary. But for the state of Haiti, it's always in a constant state of chaos. So how long do you continue to live in America? Because eventually you were going to have to go home. So I'm not sitting up here acting like, oh, I'm happy that they left. I'm just saying it was temporary. It was designed for you to eventually go home, not live here for 30-something years. You're not even a citizen. You don't even have a pathway to citizenship. So whose fault is that? Keep in mind, Joe Biden fast-tracked a lot of these Haitians and a lot of these Ukrainians to the United States. This is a fact. Yes, he fast-tracked them here. So he fast-tracked a bunch of people who were supposed to be here temporary. So now when the status is removed, now the person that removed it looks like the bad guy, but you were going to get the status removed anyway. Now, of course, you're going to have some people say, well, Haiti is in a failed state right now. It's still gangs taking over. The infrastructure not set up, no jobs. The people's lives are in danger. It could be. I'm not lying. I'm not going to disagree. Excuse me. But even then, we were still deporting Haitians anyway. People didn't care. Obama was deporting people he met at the ocean. Trump did the same thing. Biden did the same thing. That's American policy. And then you still had these groups come out and they were complaining, saying it was inhumane because the people still trying to escape the terror that's going on back on their homeland. You know what I'm saying? So imagine that. Barack Obama called some of that shit, and then when the people were fleeing to some of the things that he did, he sent their ass back. Y'all not mad at him and calling him a slave master and all this other shit. I'm like, bro, what are we talking about? I'm just saying this is something that actually happened.
The moment many people had been talking about has now arrived. A US deportation flight carrying 161 passengers landed in Cap Haitien, Haiti, marking the first major deportation flight to Haiti since temporarily protected status for Haitians was ended. And now the conversation is getting even louder because for years people have argued about what would happen if those protections disappeared. Now, we are watching the consequences unfold in real time, and the message from some Black Americans is simple. They were warned.
Now at 11, we are on the ground in Haiti tonight, just hours after the Trump administration announced it's ending TPS for Haitians. Those living in the U.S. and right here in South Florida now face deportation. Good evening. I'm Lauren Pastrana. Elliot Rodriguez has the night off. We are the only South Florida news station with a reporter in Haiti right now. CBS News Miami's Tanya Francois joins us from Cap Haitien with the exclusive reaction.
Here in Cap Haitien, the news of TPS ending and the hundreds of thousands of people returning back here spread very quickly. It seems to be the only thing people have been talking about. Now, you are looking at the market area of downtown Cap Haitien from...
Look at that nonsense, bro. That looks insane. It looks... Look. I'm not one for trying to diss other people's cultures. That's not what we're doing here. What I am saying is we don't want that in America. There's a guy, and I'm going to do a couple review videos of it tomorrow. There's a guy that's over in like Paris, London, and different places, Rome, and all of that type of stuff. And they're showing the influx of illegal migrants that are taking over some of the most touristy spots. And they're smoking crack on the street. And they're getting angry over in Italy. And they're getting mad at people that are Italian that then come over and say that you can't do that, and they just absolutely destroying it. And they're turning places inside of those spaces into the country that they came from. They take their ways and they come over here to the United States of America. They go to Italy, they go to London, they go to Rome, they go all these places that allow for them to come in there, or if they decide to sneak in there illegally, and then they turn it into their home. That is crazy, bro. It's insane. And they don't assimilate. They're not trying to be like us.
They are trying to turn this place into what they know, because they're not even trying to learn the language. They're not trying to evolve. They're not trying to do none of that. It's insane, man.
This afternoon, the streets are packed with people trying to shop and go about their day. Already moving through traffic was very difficult. The roads at times heavily congested. The people who live here say they've seen the population sharply increase because of people escaping gang violence in Port-au-Prince. Now, the thought of even more people coming here has one Haitian man very worried.
We gotta deal with that gang situation and, humanitarian situation. All those people need food and stuff like that. We don't have that. We don't have health care, all that. And we're gonna receive all those people.
So they don't even want their own people over there, and they expecting for us to want they people over here. They don't even want them in another city that's over there. And we supposed to be like, oh yeah, we love it over here.
On August 20th, an ICE flight departed Alexandria, Louisiana, carrying 161 people to Haiti. The aircraft landed in Cap Haïtien instead of Port-au-Prince because the capital's airport remains too dangerous and severe gang violence. That detail alone tells you how complicated this situation has become. These were not simply people getting on a plane and going home to normal conditions. Haiti is facing a major security and humanitarian crisis, and that is exactly why this deportation has generated so much debate. For years, TPS gave thousands of Haitian protection from deportation and authorization to work legally in the United States. The Supreme Court's June decision allowed the administration to move forward with ending those protections, affecting roughly around 350,000 Haitians. Then came the headline, and now came the deportation flight. But here is something important. We should be careful about assuming that all 161,000 were former TPS holders. Officials have not publicly specified how many of those passengers previously held TPS. So the bigger story isn't simply one flight, it's what this flight represents. And this is where the Black American reaction becomes interesting. For years, immigration policy has been one of America's most heated political issues. Some Black Americans have argued that immigration policy cannot ignore the people who were already struggling to build their lives in America. Others have questioned whether the government should continue temporary protections indefinitely. And now, with deportations actually happening, those arguments are becoming much more serious. The phrase "they were warned" isn't necessarily about celebrating someone's hardship. It's about when the government tells you that a temporary legal protection is ending, you have to take that warning seriously. Because once the protection disappears, the consequences can become very real. At the same time, this story is not as simple as saying they got deported, end of story. It wasn't. Haiti is facing devastating violence, and Port-au-Prince considered too dangerous for normal commercial aviation, which is why this flight landed in northern Haiti instead. And some of the people arriving have spent years, even decades, in the United States. The Associated Press reported that at least one person on the flight was born in the Dominican Republic and reportedly knew little about Haiti. So there are real human consequences here. Families, jobs, homes, children, entire lives built in America. And that is why this story is beyond Haiti. The US is sending a message about how immigration enforcement will work going forward. Temporary protection means exactly what the name says, temporary. When the legal status changes, people can suddenly find themselves facing detention, removal proceedings, or even deportation. So, was this predictable? In one sense, yes. The government had already announced changes to TPS. The courts enrolled, the deadline arrived, and now first major deportation flight has landed. But whether you support those deportations or oppose them, one thing is impossible to ignore. America's immigration debate has moved from a promise to consequences. 161 people were flown back to Haiti. More cases could follow. And the debate over immigration enforcement, legal status, border security, and who gets to remain in America is nowhere near finished. So I want to hear from you guys. Were they really warned, or should the government have handled this differently? Drop your opinions in the comments section and kindly remember to keep it respectful. If you want more breakdowns like this, hit the subscribe button and join our family. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.